Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Star Wars Maul, Shadow Lord. This is a brand new series on Disney Plus. This was premiered almost a year ago, this month at Star Wars Celebration Japan. I was in the room when it happened, and I was very excited to get that first look right there with Maul himself and Dave Filoni and everybody else in the room. Excited to learn about the new show, and now it's finally here. This is so far, it's one season, although the second season has already been greenlit. They kind of have to do that almost because usually anything that's created is done a good year in advance. Like what we're seeing now was pretty much, at least roughly, done a year ago. So, whatever. First of all, I want to tell you, I'm not going to give away any spoilers. I'm just going to talk about it, who made it, who's involved with it, and some theories. I don't understand. I don't have any direct connections with Lucasfilm or Disney or anything else. I don't work for any of them. I just will give a theory, and I have a pretty big theory about a certain character in this that probably has been touched upon by other people, but I don't go to the message boards and I don't spit that stuff out. I don't take it all in. I don't like spoilers. Honestly, I once did go to Lucasfilm and took a tour of the place, and the friend who worked there, I had to tell her, just like, I don't know if I ever got a chance to work at Lucasfilm, I don't know if I would take it. As much as I'd love to be around, surrounded by Star Wars and everything Lucasfilm does every day, I'd almost hate for it to be my job. So, not that I would have gotten an opportunity to, but still, it would be very difficult to learn all the secrets before anybody else and not be surprised at certain things, especially story-wise when it comes to certain things. So, that said, I'm going to tell you about some of the people who are in it and what it's all about, and clear up some confusion for you casual Star Wars fans who thought that he died in 1999 at the hand of Obi-Wan in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. No, he didn't die. He was chopped in half, which is normally a death sentence for anybody else outside of the Star Wars universe. But he fell into the Naboo sewers, and I guess, which also seems like it would be it's a death sentence as well, infection. But I guess it's cauterized when you get cut in half. So I don't know. I mean, I've seen the Clone Wars episodes that explain it. Yeah, no. If you need to understand why this guy is still alive, but is also right now also dead, you gotta. Yeah, I have to encourage you to watch. If you're at all interested in seeing more Star Wars, watch the Clone Wars. Even if you have to find a way to pick out the things that have to do with Darth Maul, there might be a wrap-up a thing on YouTube or at Lucas, through the Lucasfilm channel that might explain everything up to this point. He's also technically dead again, because in Rebels he made an appearance there where he battled up against Ahsoka and Darth Vader. Let's just say Darth Sidious got his hands on him, and yeah, it was a pretty tough battle. And we also got to see him alive somewhere in between those two in Solo, a Star Wars story, where he seemed to be the leader of a criminal syndicate. So there's a lot going on with Maul, whether he's alive or dead, but we're here somewhere in the middle. I'm assuming. I can't imagine he'd come back from the last death he had, which was very human. No explosions or falling off a cliff or getting chopped in half. It was pretty final, and it resonated. Let's just say that his actual final death, I hope, is the real one, is the final one. So this is all taking place before that, and if you haven't watched Rebels, the Darth Maul episodes of Rebels, then I highly recommend it. It actually ties into almost hours before a certain Obi-Wan would go off and help a young farm boy find his droids in the desert. and tell him about his dad, lie to him about his dad. So anyway, all that to say, when we meet Maul here, he is, yes, he seems to be running a criminal syndicate to get revenge upon the people who have betrayed him over the years. And his top dog, beyond Kenobi, he's after Sidious as well. And I can't tell exactly where in this storyline, in the greater storyline, this takes place. Obviously, it's between his two deaths. But where it is in relation to Solo, how many, like, before or after years or whatever, months, weeks, or how close it is to his appearances in Clone Wars or Rebels, I don't know. I just don't know. It's not a huge concern, and you shouldn't be too concerned yourself. I know there's some people who are very, very intense about timelines and canon and everything else. And just don't worry. I'm sure it will be made clear in time. So we get to see a lot of action. Got a lot of lightsaber action. The Devil's Bladed lightsaber is back, and he is really just going to town on a lot of people and droids. Now, this is, sure, a kid's show to a certain degree, but the adults will certainly get a kick out of it who've grown up with Star Wars. For little ones, like 3, 4, I don't know if this is really meant for them. Older kids, elementary and up, I think this would be better suited. Although, just like about any other Star Wars thing when you're a kid, the greater themes and ideas and concepts may not be something that they'll get initially, but when they grow up, guess what? There's a whole lot more going on underneath the scenes. Understand? George Lucas has said many times, Star Wars is made for 12-year-old boys for the most part, and you know what? And girls can enjoy it too, but his original target audience was really 12-year-old boys. And so if you have no enjoyment of big laser battles and lightsabers and spaceship chases and just all sorts of crazy aliens and stuff like that, then you know what? Really, seriously, go read a book. And that's not an insult. Read a book. That's a good option. It's fine. If you don't like all this crazy, wacky stuff on the TV, go read a book. Many suggestions, even if it's about Star Wars. Anyway, so yeah, we get to see a lot of action, and Maul is his menacing dark self, but I think he believes himself to be a hero. Yeah. That he's the main character. He's the good guy in this story, and finally, he technically is. But he also shares the screen with some other character that we're going to get to know over the next few episodes. I think 8 episodes, ending on May the 4th. Normally, this kind of show would be premiering on May the 4th, and it is kind of strange that it premiered on a Monday yesterday. That it premiered on a Monday. I was going to watch it on Monday, but I was not sure if it was going to show up at midnight or 6 p.m., and I didn't want to rush through things or stay up super late. I just figured, let's give it a day to breathe, and then I can talk to you about it on Tuesday. So it is strange that it would start on a Monday, but they're doing that because May the 4th is on a Monday, and that's how we're going to finish off the first season of the series. We have a number of great voice actors. Some you'll recognize, maybe if you're a big Star Wars animation fan. Steve Bloom was Zeb in Rebels. Vanessa Marshall was Hera in Rebels. But those are mostly kind of supporting characters for the most part. You're going to mostly hear, of course, Sam Witwer as Maul. I almost said Darth. As Maul. He is not a Darth. He does not. He's not part of the Sith lineage anymore. Dennis Haysbert is a master of sorts. I will not tell you which master, but if you've ever seen 24, The President, back in a time when a black man being a president was like this weird, crazy, futuristic thing. Well, he was the president in the first season of 24. Chris Diamantopoulos is Vero. He plays a gangster. There's so many good people in this. But the main character that I was starting to tell you about is a character named Devin Azara, played by Gideon Adlon. Gideon Adlon, to me, from looking at her, she seems like she might be the daughter of Pamela Adlon, or just a really big coincidence. I don't know, but she voices Devin, and I feel like I'm going to get these names mixed up, the real name and the character name, because I don't know them well enough yet. I mean, who better to have a teacher? If Pam's her mom, then yeah, she's grew up around voice work. Her mom has done everything, I forget the character in Recess, but of course I knew her best as Bobby Hill in King of the Hill. Pamela, not Gideon, her daughter. But yeah, seriously, just we got some good lineage, just so many good voices on this show. It's well cast. Richard Ayoade, the IT crew. Why can't I say the name of that show? It's a British show from the BBC that. He's just a big nerdy guy, big haired nerdy guy doing a voice of a droid, which may end up being one of your favorite characters on the show after a time. So you'll see what I'm talking about if you haven't watched it yet. Obviously, if you're a Star Wars fan, you've probably already watched this, and I shouldn't really need to worry about spoilers or anything else. But you know what? Some people don't necessarily get to see it day one. Great voices, great cast. We got the action. The animation, by the way, looks gorgeous. And I saw it in the trailers previously, but I've always thought that maybe it was something they just did for the trailer, just to give it kind of a sexy sheen or whatever, just to kind of give it a look that sort of makes it, stand out. But no, this is the look of the animation. Yes, it is permutation of the Clone Wars and Rebels and the different types of animation that we've seen before. It doesn't stray too incredibly far from the same body and face structure of most of the characters, like the humanoid face and body structure of most of the characters. But it does have this kind of sketch, etchy type of layer to it that seems almost painterly and sketch-worthy at the same time. It has a bit of a grit, and it's hard for me to explain. It just looks fantastic. You know how you watch The Mandalorian, and at the end you see all the concept artwork that they use for certain scenes that the crew, the talented artists, use to set up the entire show, whether it comes to creatures or buildings or people and fight scenes and things like that, to coordinate all that stuff. Well, that style of art, in a sense, is sort of incorporated into the animation. In some cases, I was watching this and it just looked like there was a painting of a building, an establishing shot of a building, and they pan down slowly, and you don't realize it's not just a stock still picture. It is, technically, it's a background, but then there's people moving in front of it, so it's an actual scene with depth. And it flirts with 2D to a tiny degree, 3D, but also has this texture. That's the word I was looking for, texture, to the animation that we haven't seen before in the other series. I think there's bits of it in the Visions anthology series, the anime anthology series, but in this it's fully its own, and it has a texture that is just truly gorgeous. Yes, a lot of it is, there's a lot of dark scenes. It's on a planet that's not Coruscant, by the way. I need to make that clear. I thought it was Coruscant at first, because either all the planets seem to be super single nature biosphere kind of thing, or they're all industrialized to the point where there's no nature. And this presented itself as something that looked like Coruscant, but it's not. It's a different planet, but it's good, because considering all the people with force abilities floating around in these first two episodes that premiered yesterday, I would think somebody like the Emperor or Vader might kind of be tipped off as to what's going on. if they suddenly felt the presence of Maul or other Jedi types in this story. And I realize, as much as I try, I keep deflecting off of Gideon Adlan's character, Devin Azara. Devin Azara, if you've seen the trailer, all this is being said with the assumption that you have seen the trailers. There is a Twi'lek, I say Twi'lek, some people say Twi'lek, let's call the whole thing off. But there's a young woman in this who is she's a Jedi, or she has Force abilities, let's just say that. There's no such thing as a Jedi in this era. During the Age of the Empire, there is technically no Jedi. Yeah, sure, Cal Kestis is jumping around, hopping on things in a video game somewhere else during this era. And there's Ezra Bridger somewhere. No, there isn't. He's in a different dimension. Yeah, and there's a Luke Skywalker, and there's an Obi-Wan hidden away in Tatooine. But other than them, and probably a half dozen or 50 others, there are some people with Force powers on this planet. And one of them is Devin, and she's a Twi'lek, and she is having a frustrating time with her life. It's not going easy. It's not... While she is not being directly hunted for being a Jedi, she still runs afoul of the law because she's taken measures to protect herself and others. So, of course, this is going to put her in the direct path of Maul, who senses something is coming his way. And, for me, this feels like an opportunity. Again, I'm sure this has all been discussed on message boards ad nauseum everywhere else. I don't go to those because I try to avoid spoilers and people who know it all. I don't know it all. I don't want to know it all until it happens in the story. But I think we have an opportunity here for a Master Padawan kind of situation between Maul and Devin. Almost exactly like Anakin and Ahsoka. A young woman who is driven, possibly talented and powerful, trained by someone who is utterly dangerous and may carry on the original mission of that master. She has no lack of, let's say, adult authority figures in her life. Not that she's a child, I don't think. I mean, they treat her like a child. She's young, but I don't think she's like as young as Ahsoka was when we first met her. She's got some problems to work out. And Maul is going to try to help her, I think. So, and this right here, I'm going to tell you, this is a theory of all my own that nobody gave me, even though it's probably been said, again, in chat rooms or message boards or wherever else, Discord. We might be seeing the origin of another extended universe Legends character, the premiere of a Legends character, the birthing stages of a Legends character that was pretty popular. It premiered in the comics and was a Padawan of Darth Krayt. Yeah, an apprentice of Darth Krayt, I should say, not Padawan. That's a Jedi thing. If you look at it, again, this is for the super Star Wars nerds out there who probably haven't already figured this out or haven't already thought of this. I have a feeling that Devin could become Darth Talon. Yes, the origin will be completely different, but things were completely different when they brought Thrawn from the Heir to the Empire series, written by Timothy Zahn. We got a different origin in the Disney version of the universe, the Star Wars universe, but we still got Grand Admiral Thrawn, and it was written by the same guy who created Grand Admiral Thrawn in the novels, and that's nothing to sneeze at. It wasn't just somebody cribbing his notes and going, "Oh, we're going to make a Thrawn now and throw it into Clone War, into Rebels, and then the Ahsoka series." No, there's more. So they're doing it right. Filoni loves pulling lots of stuff from Legends and repurposing it into the canon, the Disney era canon of Star Wars, the Star Wars galaxy, and that's this would be the way to bring in Darth Talon. We're just seeing her at her nascent pre-dark side stage. And it would be a direct reflection of the whole Anakin and Ahsoka situation, or at least the Ahsoka part of it, because both Anakin went dark. It's not like he ever went light. So anyway, that's my absolute theory. I have not any connections with Disney or Lucasfilm or anything else. I'm not. I didn't read somebody's notes over their shoulders or whatever. I don't know anything. It is just my guess, and I think it's a pretty good guess. I could be wrong, and I'm perfectly fine with that. In fact, as much as some of my friends really do not like it when things don't go the way they want them to in these type of stories, especially with Marvel and Star Wars, and they want characters to be the way they want them to be in their own head. No. What I want is what I don't want, or what I don't know is coming. That is, to me, I could usually figure out every other option when it comes to a story where something's going to go, but I shut my brain down on that kind of stuff because I don't want to over speculate. In this case, I did. But the visuals seem pretty straightforward, and the path of the character seems fairly obvious. I don't know. It's not like she's going to be Ahsoka 2.0. But I'm just going to say, because Filoni likes also to bring all sorts of threads from his different stories together, even in just tiny little ways, I would make sure you get this show watched before Mandalorian Grogu hits theaters. Again, it might be just a little wink and a nod, but it won't have anything. It probably won't have any direct story connection. Just saying. So yeah, have fun with this. This is, again, older kids and you adults, Star Wars fans, even the casual ones, will have good fun with this. Lots of spinning red lightsabers everywhere, some good action, some bad guy you can sort of root for amongst the other bad guys. And yeah, it's, for me, I grew up with Star Wars. At one point, I thought for sure I'd never see Star Wars ever again when George Lucas said, no more Star Wars. And he brought it back. And people complained. And he quit and sold it. And they made more Star Wars and people complained. I'm not looking a gift horse in the mouth. A gift Eope in the mouth. A gift Bantha in the mouth. I have Star Wars to enjoy. And I'm very happy whenever it shows up on any screen I can get. So, any game, any movie, any TV show, any short, any book, any comic, I'm happy for more Star Wars. And this looks like a lot of fun. So definitely check it out, especially if you're a Star Wars fan. Don't skip it because you're just too good for it or you're too mature for it. Have fun. That's what Star Wars is all about. Be that 12-year-old boy or girl that George Lucas originally made Star Wars for, and just have fun. Speaking of fun, tomorrow, already picked out tomorrow's episode. It was number 70, and that is Mickey plus Shorts, Mickey and Stitch. Now, there are 3 different Mickey and crossover shorts. He does one with Bluey and Spidey and Stitch from I think this originally came out probably as a promo on the Disney Channel or XD or whatever, to promote the Lilo and Stitch live action movie last summer. Didn't even know these existed. Disney Plus seems to be really bad at times at promoting some new-ish stuff they just sort of dump in there. And meanwhile, they give us all the Lifetime movies we can find. And they keep finding more. But you know what? Hey, show us some of this stuff. Don't make me dig. It better populate your new page, okay? Just saying. Give us dates if you can. Put the dates on them when they premiered. I don't care when you added them. It just helps. So I know what to add, and so I know what to watch, because I'm watching everything on Disney Plus. This took a lot longer than I expected it to do this. Yes, so tomorrow, Mickey plus Shorts. Mickey and Stitch is what we're watching next. May the Force be with you. And I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.